In the beginning, we see a gloved hand injects a substance into an egg, causing it to divide and create an identical egg. While on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Elizabeth Sparkle's star fades as she ages, and her aerobics TV show becomes less popular. Overhearing her producer discussing her retirement, Elizabeth feels dejected and, while distracted by her billboard being taken down, gets into an accident. In the hospital, a doctor recognizes her and compliments her, but she breaks down, prompting the doctor to leave. A young nurse examines her and slips a flash drive with a commercial for a product called Substance into her pocket. Elizabeth reunites with an old classmate, Fred, who gives her his phone number on a water-soaked scrap of paper. Falling into depression, she finds a bouquet thanking her for being part of a team. Inserting the flash drive into her TV, she watches a commercial for Substance, which promises to create a younger, more beautiful, and perfect version of herself through DNA unlocking and cell division. The two personalities, referred to as the substance and the matrix, must coexist and switch every 7 days, always remembering that they are one. Elizabeth, feeling lonely after a night out, orders a mysterious substance and receives a postbox number for pickup. The next morning, she sees an ad for her show host replacement and finds a letter with a card and the same postbox number. She retrieves the package, which contains ingredients labeled activator, stabilizer, food for the matrix, and food for the other you. The activator is a one-time use, while the stabilizer, extracted from matrix cells, must be administered daily. Every 7 days, the pair must switch places without fail, always remembering they are one whole. Elizabeth, contemplating her aging reflection, injects the activator and endures excruciating pain as her younger version emerges from her back. The new personality, initially rebellious, tends to Elizabeth's body, stitching her back and resting. The next morning, she feels unwell but injects herself with a stabilizer and heads to a casting call, buying a seductive swimsuit on the way. Sue, a replacement for the show's original host, Elizabeth, captivates the producers and Harvey with her charm. Despite warning them about her weekly departures to care for her sick mother, Harvey believes this unique aspect will win over the audience. As Sue basks in her newfound fame, the week quickly passes, and it's time for the switch. Sue connects herself to tubes to transfer the substance, allowing Elizabeth to regain consciousness, while Sue falls into a coma. Elizabeth returns to the TV studio, receiving a gift from the crew, and marks the days she can be herself on her calendar. At the end of the week, she finds a new batch of the substance delivered to her postbox, and the process repeats. Sue thrives in her new life, starring in commercials and gaining popularity, but she becomes concerned about the matrix body and creates a secret room in her bathroom. However, her neighbor discovers her secret, and she hides Elizabeth's body and replaces her portrait with her own. Sue's show becomes a massive success, and she makes new friends and attends parties. During an intimate moment with a young man, she realizes it's time for the switch and rushes to perform an additional stabilization procedure. Elizabeth wakes up to find her living room in disarray and her hands twisted with gout, struggling to compose herself. She contacts the substance provider. Elizabeth cleans up her apartment and watches a recording of Sue's new show, acknowledging Sue's beauty. Despite a neighbor asking Sue out, Sue doesn't answer the door. Elizabeth receives a new batch of the substance and encounters an old man at a cafe who laments the long wait to return to his body. Among the old man's cards, Elizabeth finds one identical to her substance card. She recognizes the young nurse who advised her on the experiment, and he acknowledges that it becomes harder to remember one's right to exist with each passing cycle. Elizabeth, feeling insecure after seeing Sue's billboard, stays home and binge eats to cope, causing her body to age rapidly. Sue, abusing the stabilizer, becomes the host of the New Year's show, but her aging body starts to deteriorate. Elizabeth, driven by rage, decides to end the experiment and prepares to inject Sue with a lethal serum, but hesitates and brings her back to consciousness. Sue, enraged, beats Elizabeth to death and rushes to the New Year's show, only to find her body rapidly deteriorating. In a desperate attempt to save herself, she injects the last of the activator, resulting in a monstrous hybrid of both versions. In the film, Eliza, a monstrous creature, recalls her audition and attempts to beautify herself by donning a dress and a homemade Elizabeth mask. Upon arriving at the TV center, she steps into the stage and addresses the audience. But her mask falls off, causing screams of horror and panic. One man decapitates Eliza, and her mutilated body floods the hall with blood. The remains of Eliza flee the studio and disintegrate into guts on the street, while Elizabeth's original face crawls to her star on the Walk of Fame, smiles, and melts away. The next morning, the remaining blood puddle is scrubbed away, erasing the memory of the actress. The film explores society's imposed standards on women's bodies in the pursuit of eternal beauty, prompting viewers to reflect on self-acceptance and authenticity. Here is the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more movies like this.